Hello everyone, and welcome to the University of Waterloo Ecology Lab series on winter weeds and wild vegetation. Although many plants can't be seen anymore, there are still many that can be, and still many reasons to get out and explore during the winter. In this series, we hope to show you the vast diversity of life still visible in the winter by showing you how different native and non-native species look in the winter and how they can be distinguished.
So this is a common teasel, which is a part of the teasel family, which is actually within the honeysuckle family. Teasel was introduced from Europe to Canada around the 1700s and was popularly cultivated for its use in combing and fluffing wool, which is also known as raising the nap. It has since then escaped cultivation and become a widespread invasive plant in Canada, and you can often see it growing in ditches, along roadsides, pastures, and open disturbed areas. Teasel has prickly long stems with an oval flower head, covered in bristles. When in bloom, the flowers will be purple or white, and it grows from the center of the teasel and spreads outwards. This plant, as you can see here, is too prickly and bitter for wildlife to eat, and it can produce over 2,000 seeds every year, both of which makes it a successful invader. Also notice that the teasel has a very thorny stem. These stems are hollow, and you can see at the base of the plant, it is much larger than it is at the top of the plant.
This plant here is an avens. There are many species in the Geum genus, all commonly referred to as avens, with many being native to our region in Waterloo. Avens are a member of the Rosaceae or rose family, and you will see that in the summer, when this plant has flowers, that each flower has 5 flower parts, characteristic of all members of the rose family. You can see that avens grow their seeds in small burrs, however not to be mistaken with the much larger burdock. Avens grow no more than about 1 meter in height and branch at each node, compared to burdock branching from a central stalk. The burrs of avens are smaller and stick much less aggressively than those of burdock. Avens have smooth to slightly hairy stems and may be more hairy at the bulging nodes. They can be found growing in woodlots, meadows, clearings, and along roadsides. This is common burdock, non-native to our Waterloo region and a member of the Asteraceae family. You'll notice it looks very distinct even in the winter, having burrs with hooked barbs which used to be the bracts under the flower. This plant can grow up to 1.5 meters tall and can be as wide as tall, with a main central stalk. This plant is biennial, and in its first year of growth will just produce these large basal leaves. In its second year of growth, it will shoot up and produce these flowers. The plant will die in the winter and dry up, holding onto the burrs, giving it a distinct winter look.
European buckthorn is a prolific shrub which has very large thorns. It was intentionally introduced by the government to help mitigate erosion and to provide food for wildlife unaware of its invasive qualities.
Buckthorn leaves are the first to sprout in the spring, thereby choking out spring wildflowers and other native saplings for sunlight, and persist late into the fall, outcompeting other species. However, you can see at this time of year in the winter, the leaves have fallen. The leaf arrangement can vary from opposite, subopposite, and alternate, and the leaves themselves are oval and toothed. This species is dioecious, meaning male and female flowers occur on separate plants, which is why you'll notice some of these trees, such as the one shown here, are full of small black fruit, which would be the female, while others are bare, which would be the male. Buckthorn spreads very easily as it thrives on disturbed soil and high traffic area, such as roads and pathways. Their berries are cathartic, a natural laxative, hence its Latin name, where birds consume the berries and expunge the seeds, helping to spread the shrub. Even if it is cut or girdled, the shoots will regrow. All of these factors are what make it such a successful invader.
So European buckthorn usually has scaly sub-opposite buds. Like you can see here, sub-opposite is where they are almost directly across from each other, but they are slightly offset. They also usually have thorns on the very tip of the branch, right between the two sub-opposite buds. So the bark of European buckthorn is distinct because it's usually very dark and it has these white lenticels all over them. Near the bottom, you can see that the bark becomes kind of shredded, and as they age, the bark will become more textured. So buckthorn is a very aggressive invader, and here we have a perfect example. You can see all of these larger, more mature trees are all buckthorn, and all on the forest floor here is actually covered in baby buckthorn trees. You can see that if left uncontrolled, they can quickly outcompete all native vegetation and colonize an entire area.
Thanks for watching our first edition of this series, and good luck this winter.